What's up guys, welcome back to another guide. As requested, a PvT guide. Now let's start with the shoutouts. Shout out to Don Pato, thank you very much for subscribing to my Patreon. And that's it with the shoutouts. Let's get started. Today, like I mentioned, we have a PvT guide. I'll be showing the build first versus an AI very easy, and then I'll be showing the build versus a Polish Terran player called Sol. And yeah, let's get into it. So this build assumes everything standard. It's you're playing against a Terran that's planning on expanding, and we're scouting as well. So we're not getting extra minerals from not scouting or anything like that. Just doing regular gate scout into 17 gas, 20 nexus, 20 cybercore. I will have the build order written down below up until a certain point, and from there it won't be exact supply wise, but time wise it should be doable. And I'll go to like 640, which 640 in PvT is a very important timing, because that's when the stim combat shield timing usually hits from a factory opener. So that's the reason why I only go up till this time. I could go longer, I could go shorter, but I figured this is a good time. You can benchmark till this time, see what your supply is compared to my supply. I will also upload this replay, which will also be in the description down below, hopefully beneath or above the build order, we'll see. So we just went 16 gate, 14 pylon, 17 gas. You can put 2 probes in gas, you can put 1 probe in gas, it doesn't really matter too much. You have slightly faster Stargate. This is a Stargate opener. It might be interesting to tell you what the build actually is. It is a 3 Oracle, 6 Adept push, which should allow us to kill some SCVs while taking our third, teching towards charge, and +1 armor, as well as a Templar Archives with 8 gates. That's going to be our setup, and we can have... The main goal is, of course, to do some damage and trick the Terran into all-inning us with an SCV count around 35 to 40. If they have triple CC, of course, that's not a very good plan, because they most likely won't all-in into us. So we just go harder on the probes in that case. We get Storm, and then we take it from there, just play a standard macro game from there. So right, after our 16 gate, 17 gas, 20 nexus, 20 core, we take a 21 gas, we take a 22 pylon. Pylon doesn't necessarily need to be positioned here, it can be positioned here as well, can be positioned here for all I care. It's all fine, it's all allowed. We start with chrono boosting out an Adept. This is so that the Reaper that shows up won't be able to do any damage. Then we get a Stargate. Please do note that this is before the Warpgate. We skip the Warpgate temporarily. Please don't forget to still build the Warpgate, as it is rather important. We build it after our second Adept starts. So we get our second Adept, which we don't chrono boost. We just rally it here. Then we start our Warpgate once money, or well, once gas really allows it. And then we continue on with the build. 2 chronos, 1 on the natural, 1 on the main. If it's a map where you might have trouble defending a Reaper, like New Repugnancy, where there's 2 jump-in spots, very annoying, you can chrono boost this one. So just 1 chrono on the natural, and then 1 chrono on this gateway. Helps you defend against that Reaper. Get your second Adept. And from here on out, continuous probe production, as always. The moment the Stargate finishes, we start our first Oracle. Once the gas allows, once again. Here we don't put any chrono boost on our probes anymore. Our Oracle should have about 7 or 8 seconds without a chrono boost. And that's fine, because we'll be continuously building Oracles and we don't have enough chrono boost. So it doesn't matter, that's normal. So you chrono boost it at around 12-13 seconds. Keep continuous probe production, and at around, what was it, 3:12, you add 2 extra gateways. Please note once again, this is before your third pylon. There's no third pylon yet. We're still on 2 pylons. After you start your first Oracle, after you build the gateways, that's when you build your third pylon. Here we go. It's a little late, but it's still okay. We won't get supply blocked. We'll be on 43 out of 46, and then we get to start our second Oracle, which we of course rally across the map. Now there's a little trick that I want to show you guys. I know a lot of you will be like, oh my god, an oracle build, I hate oracles. I always lose them to a mine on the middle of the map. Now here's a little trick. You send one of the 2 adepts that you have across the map. Don't shade it, just walk it across the map. Send it exactly the path that your oracle will take, and then your oracle will just fly over that. If there's a mine, your adept will tank it and your oracle will stay alive. Of course, an adept is only 100 minerals, 25 gas. Oracle's a little more expensive at 150, 150. So you don't want to lose this bad boy, as you also need it for your scouting. So here we go, walk across the map. Now we see there's no mines because my opponent is an easy AI and I don't think they invented quite how to build mines. Now, another thing you can do, which I like to do, is sometimes they'll put the mines on the edges of their base. You can just walk your adept, just like this, around the edges of the base. You see, there could be a mine here. Well, it gets triggered by this adept. Perfect. Now, at this point, we check with our oracle. And we try to figure out what our opponent is doing. Is he all-inning? What kind of tech does he have? You want to see, is there a tech lab on the factory? Is there a tech lab on the starport? Is he getting mines? If so, where are the mines located? So you don't fly in there. All of the things you want to figure out with this Oracle Scout. Now, in the meanwhile, while this Oracle was flying across the map, of course, we weren't doing anything. We don't have to pay attention to the Oracle because our Adept is clearing the way. So we don't really care. We just send it across the map. Our Adept will see any danger coming. After we build our second Oracle, we start 2 gases at the natural. And once we have chrono boost, we chrono boost our Oracle once again. After we build the gases, we get another Pylon. About 48 supply. Once again, build order is in the description down below. After this Oracle, we start an Adept, and after this Pylon as well. And then we start our third Oracle, which there should be a couple of seconds where you don't have the gas, but that's okay. It will fit pretty well together in the end. Now, we want one more Pylon as well. I'm sorry, I missed that. We want this Pylon to start before the third Oracle starts. So we can warp in 3 Adepts the moment this Warpgate finishes. Okay? Now once our gas is finished, we start saturating it. Please don't lose your Oracles. Please don't lose your Adepts. If you think you can kill 3 SCVs, do it. But if you think you can kill 4 SCVs and then lose your Oracle, don't do it. Just get guaranteed damage. Don't fight for it. If you lose your Oracle, that's terrible. Because this push is really strong because you have 3 Oracles with it. And it's not strong because you have 2 Oracles with it. 3 Oracles help a lot. Of course, they can one-shot Marines. So, here we go. We got 6 Adepts. We did a full warp in of Adepts the moment our gateways finished Warpgate. So after our warp in, what do we get? We get Forge and Twilight. We move one of our probes towards the third base. Because as we're doing this, of course, we're expanding. We're still thinking about the future. We get one more Pylon. And then as we shade in, we take our third base. Well, if you can't do that, just wait a second with shading in. Make sure your oracles are together. Make sure you don't shade in after 5 minutes. This should be a good timing for most of the time. No, you go in with your Adepts, you go in with your 3 Oracles, and you try to kill as much as possible. I will show you guys in the games, the replays that I have in the games, how to judge whether you should go in or not, where you should go in, is there different ways you can go in, basically what is the best way to micro this little army. But meanwhile, we're just, this part of the video is just mainly for explaining the build. So this is irrelevant from now on out, and we're also pretending like we saw that our opponent is not getting a third command center as of yet. If you don't see a third command center as of yet, what do? We get 3 extra gateways after we start our armor and our charge. Of course, we want to get at least 1 sentry. I wouldn't even mind warping in a second sentry here. Then we get 3 gates, Templar Archives, and we add 2 more gates. All of this from about 47, 48 workers. Not higher, not lower. Only after we build all of our gateways, we start adding on probes. Now, we hope that we kept some of the oracles alive. My rule is always that it's successful when 2 of your oracles are still alive, so you can build stasis wards along the way. You can tag his army to see where he's going. really helps in the defense, of course, these stasis traps. You might just walk straight into it. And our defense, once again, if it's against a 2 base, what do? We get 8 gates. We just will charge slot Archon. We A-move him. We can even use our oracles to fight. If the game goes on, we can get Storm, we can get Blink, Second Forge. We already have 4 gases, so we're in a good position. Nothing to worry about. This is not an all-in, this is a pressure build into macro. And you don't necessarily have to do the pressure. Sometimes it's good enough just to scout, oh, there's too much stuff. I just go back, keep my 6 adepts alive. Keep my 3 oracles alive. And just tag in, build stasis. Get some probes on my 3rd. And let's hope that we can stop the push. Okay, now, if you want to do the proper benchmark, we'll go on to 640. You chrono everything on your armor. Maybe if you see a move out, want to throw 1 chrono on the charge if you're afraid that you won't make it. And our benchmark, let's say 635, 107 supply off of 53 probes. Now you might say, oh, I can have way higher supply if I just build more probes. Sure, but you have less units, you're less safe. This is the safest way to do it. Please copy this. Only once you feel very comfortable with this and you understand what the reaction should be, what the timings are that your opponent can hit, then start changing the numbers, start changing the dials a bit. Maybe you start with 6 gates and then get more probes and then add 2 more gates. But until you truly understand the build order, don't do that, especially not against 2 base terrans. Against 3 base terrans, what you do, imagine we're at this time a little too far back. Where at this time we see a 3rd base, we see 1 Rex. We just go mental on the chrono boost. Just chrono boost both nexus, add a 2nd forge, add a robo perhaps, and then just go up to 60 probes. And then start adding your gateways, not earlier. Maybe you add 1 or 2 sporadically, but you don't build them in blocks as you do systematically as you do when you're playing against the 2 gate, because you don't need the units as quickly. Probes are more important. You also won't need to chrono boost the Forge or the Twilight Council. So all chrono just onto probes. Just go up to 60, 63 workers, whatever, and you should be fine. And from there out, just play a game with Storm, with Charge Slot, with some blinkers, and in that case, double upgrades. We're only playing single upgrades because we're playing very conservative after our push. So that is the build order. Like I said, should be down below. Replay will also be down here of this game. Then I'll show you guys maybe 1 or 2 replays. I played like 6 games against Sol. Now I have to admit, the control of this army is rather difficult. And there's going to be a lot of times where you're going to lose an oracle before the fight even starts. You're going to lose an oracle before... I don't know, you fly into a mine, you fly into a cyclone, fly into a Viking. There is some rules to keep in mind, which I will tell you as we go into this game. And I'm gonna show you, I'll start with the only time it went well against Sol, and the other times I might have not have controlled as hotly, or I might have not done as much damage as I would like to. So, here we go with the standard build. I didn't actually scout this game, so I should be able to hit a little faster. I do like the scout in my guides though, because otherwise you might just die too much against proxy Rex if you don't know exact responses. It's annoying with the Reaper. Trading 1 Reaper for 1 probe, that's always worth it in my book. Allows you to send the first adept across the map. You don't need to chrono the second adept. Just keep going on. Here comes the first oracle. Now, another important thing, of course, is the scouting, which we can highlight now, which I absolutely don't do. Instead, I just go straight for the mineral line. I'm like, all right, let's see what I can get. I see that there's no mines. I see, oh, there's no mines. Maybe I can get 1 or 2 kills. And I don't go for the 3rd as I see a cyclone. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Fly to the high ground and we're safe. And I'm not going back in with this. Perhaps I'll check a barracks or a factory, see if there's something there, but I don't really need to. I don't think I will actually do that this game. Take the double gases. Warp in the 3 extra adepts. I think I might have lost an adept because I only have 5. And here we go. 3 oracles, 5 adepts. Now, if you see a tech lab on the starport, very good for you. It means there will be a raven or a Banshee, and especially nice if they don't have it in time. Of course, a Raven can be a little annoying with the auto turret. You might want to dodge that. Worst case scenario is Vikings. 1 or 2 Vikings really kill this push. So if you see Vikings, just fake going in, shading in with your adepts over here, and fly your oracles towards the main base, try to get some SCV kills, and then just go back home. Vikings are completely useless for him, only good for pushes. Don't lose any units, please. Vikings are really, really bad in a real army. They're basically wasted money and wasted starport time for him. So the moment you see that, don't go in. If you see a bunch of Marines, 2-3 Cyclones, maybe a mine, yeah, whatever, go in. This, easiest win of my life. I see 9 Marines. I think I saw 1 or 2 Cyclones. Just focus down the Cyclones. Marines or your Adepts do the rest of the work, and then bam. Just absolutely destroy him. Confuse your opponent. Instant win. Don't forget, behind this we're getting our expo, we're getting our upgrades, etc, etc. This will take a lot of practice. It's not an easy build. At the start it will just be important that you manage to hit this timing before 5 minutes, and you should be able to just pick up a lot of wins just like that. The most important thing, to get these 2 before you start, perhaps even get the 3rd base before you start. So this is what happens when you know you can kill it. Now, I have another example. This is a game that I lose eventually, but it's still a very interesting game. It's King's Cuff. Once again, I don't scout because I'm a little bit greedy and I like money, but I really do suggest everyone to scout, as it is, it is good, it's safer. I'm not big on safety. So in this case, I'm not sure what I'm doing with my Adept, but I chrono boost my 2nd because here it's a map with a very big ramp towards your main, and also this is very big, so it's very scary to only have 1 Adept for some time against the Reaper. I like to chrono boost out my 2nd. Some other tosses are like, oh, that's stupid, but I like doing it, so, sue me. Now, you get the Oracle out, blah de blah de blah. 2 extra gateways, a little bit late, I can live with it. Another Pylon. Pylon. My guesses are a little late, but it's okay. Here we have 6 Adepts, we have 3 Oracles, and we make our way across the map now. We're a little bit late, it's completely fine, okay. We see a mine, and I think we've seen this mine before as well with our Oracle. So I'm like, if I go in here, I'm gonna lose 1 unit to a mine. I think I've seen the Viking as well already. Let's actually have a look what we've seen exactly. Now, here I spot, if you look at my vision, I see the mine here. So I'm like, all right, I won't go there. I check the mineral line. Check, check, check. Is this a mine? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I see the mine here as well. I go around. Pop, pop, pop. Can only have 2 mines. I micro a little. I don't expect you guys to do this, but this is something you could do. And I see the Viking. So right now my knowledge is 2 mines and a Viking. Now this is danger territory, right? He's gonna hit a big clump on top of my either Adepts or my Oracles. There's a Viking, so my Oracles are practically useless. What you want to do, you want to trick him to defend the natural, then fly into the main with your Oracles. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. That's the plan. In my head, this is the plan. I'm like, all right. He doesn't know where my Oracles will be until it's too late for him already. So I shade in. Bump it on. He's getting scared. He's probably F2ing like every turn. It's like, oh my god, Adepts in my natural. This is terrible. F2's over here. LOL. 1, 2, 3. Instant pull because Soul is extremely good. But we still get 7, 8 workers. Now, this is absolutely beautiful and should of course be game over. Sadly, I must admit, I built too many probes. I didn't listen to my own advice. Where's my gateways? Ugh, 6 minutes, starting 3 gateways. Only 3 gateways. Should of course be 5 extra gateways to go up to 8. Because now what will happen is I get cocky after killing 8. I'm like, oh, I think I can kill this as well. I do kill the Marines, but I lose my oracles, I lose my adepts, and you don't want to lose your oracles. Even if you kill a couple of extra SCVs, this was definitely not worth it. Keep your oracles alive. Then I go for Storm instead of just going for Archon Zealot like I told you guys to go. I only have 6 gateways, so I can't even properly produce. Here, these 2 gateways aren't done. Right now I have 79 supply. That's not very high at all. I could have about 107, 110 supply, but it wasn't meant to be. And sadly, because of that, I lose the game. But don't fear, you guys won't be as dumb as me. You guys have the build order, you guys have the knowledge, and I hope you guys will be able to win. So, good luck on the ladder, and 07.